Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Root Beer here with another Galois contest. The Galois contest, if you're not familiar with it, is a grade 10 level written solution required contest put out by the folks at the University of Waterloo in Ontario, Canada. We're going to be looking at the 2009 paper, the 2009 Galois contest. So if you'd like a copy of this contest, and I do encourage you to get a copy and try it out, you can click the very first link in the description as always. Makes for great practice in writing up solutions, just like the Friar and Hypatia, which are sort of the sister contests for grades 9 and 11, respectively. They're all great written practice, especially for the Euclid contest, which is a grade 12 level paper that anyone can write, but for which you can be awarded scholarship money, and looks actually quite good on university applications. So, try the contest out for yourself. I do encourage you to practice it before watching these videos. Like usual on my channel, I'm just going to be going through one question per video. In this particular video, we're going to be going through question number 1, and then 2, and so on, but you know how to count. So let's get into it. Question number 1, which has 4 parts to it. We're going to write up solutions for all of them. Alex counts the number of students in her class with each hair color and summarizes the results in the following table. So we have hair color and number of students. We've got 8 students are blonde, 7 are brown, or 7 have brown hair, 3 have red hair, 2 have black hair. Okay, so that's the information we're given. And let's go into A part here. What percentage of the students in the class have blonde hair? Okay, it's fairly straightforward, and it should be to be the very first part of the very first question on the contest. We're going to write up our solutions here. So how do we figure out percentages? Well, I know that there are 8 blonde students. Out of a total of, it was 8 blonde, 7 with brown hair, 3 red, and 2 with black hair. And that's a total of 20. So 8 blonde students out of 20 students. So I know that there is a fraction, 8 out of 20. 8 out of 20 of the students are blonde. So if I want to get a percentage out of this, I simply just need to multiply by 100%. And it's actually pretty important to know, well, how do I take a fraction and turn it into a percent? Multiply by 100%. How do I take a percent to turn it back into a fraction? Divide by 100%. It's sort of the reverse of the procedure. Okay. And we treat percents sort of like units. Percents stick around or cancel out, that sort of a thing. So what have we got? Well, 100 divided by 20 is 5. We'll keep the percent sign around here. 8 times 5 is 40. So 40%, we might finalize our part A by saying 40% of the students are blonde. All right. So that's all there is to it. We have a nice little therefore statement or a finalizing statement. And we can move on to B part here. What percentage of the students in class have red or black hair? Okay. So again, we're going to go the approach of let's get the fraction of students who have red or black hair and multiply it by 100%. Well, we can see from the chart that 3 have red and 2 have black. So having black or red, there's 5 students with black or red hair. You don't need to use complete sentences, but it is a good idea to at least talk a little bit about what you're doing. So 5 out of, and we don't need to recalculate it. We know from the earlier part that it's 20 students. So 5 out of 20 students, or 1/4, have black or red hair. And we can quickly do our calculation. 5 times 5 is 25. So 25% have black or red hair. Okay. And incidentally, this means that we could figure out that 35% of them have brown hair, because that's the only other option left, and there's 35% remaining once you account for 40% and 25%. So we've got C and D to do. I'm just going to flip over to a new page. A little fresh there. Okay, so C part. How many of the students in the class with blonde hair would have to dye their hair black, so they would move from the blonde column to the black-haired column, for the percentage of students in the class with black hair to be 20%? Okay, so this time we've got a target percent. Can we convert that back into a fraction and figure out, well, how many students would you need to have black hair? Now, the number of students, quite crucially, does not change. So number of students is still 20. To get 20%, we need 20% out of 100%, which is actually 1 out of 5. Which, so 1 out of 5 of the students to be black-haired. Okay, 1/5 times the total of 20 students is going to be 4 students. Now, we already know that 2 students have black hair. So 2 have black hair. We need 4 minus those 2 that we already have. So we need 2 more. 2 blonde students should dye their hair. There we go. And now we've got D part left to worry about. How many students with red hair would have to join the class so the percent of students in the class with red hair is equal to 32%? All right, this is a little different because now we're taking, we have a class of 20 students, but we're adding more students, and we're asked how many students with red hair would have to join the class. Let's give a name to that. Okay, I don't know what number that is, but I could give a name to it like R for red hair and manipulate that in an equation. So let R be number of students with red hair that join. Okay. Then what will that tell us? We'll have 20 plus R students in total. And we'll have 2 students with red hair, or sorry, no, 3 students with red hair, wasn't it? Let's just go back and double check. 3 students with red hair. So we have 3 already with red hair, and then we have R more that have red hair. So this would be 3 plus R students with red hair. And I can turn this into a fraction just like I did in parts A and B. The only difference is I know the percent that I want. So 32% is going to be our fraction times 100%. The thing we have to solve for here is R, not figure out the percentage. Okay, so what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to cancel out the units, percentages. Less of a thing I need to write. So I get 32 is 3 plus R 20 plus R times 100. I'm going to multiply both sides by 20 plus R. And we can expand out. 32 times 20 is 640 plus 32R. Then we'll have 300 plus 100R. Bring the 300 over to the other side. Bring the 32R over to this side. So 640 minus 300 is the same as 100R minus 32R. So that'll be 340 is, and then what's 100 minus 32? It'll be 68. We'll have 68R. Now, can we divide these? Well, I know both sides have are multiples of 17, for example. I'm trying to avoid calculators. I believe calculators are allowed, however. But I like to challenge myself. Divide both sides by 13, you'll get, or not 13, 17. You'll get 20 here and 4R here. Divide both sides by 4. You'll get 5R. 5 redheads, or 5 carrot tops, I guess, must join class. All right. And that's it. If you wanted to, you could double check this. 3 plus 5 is 8. 20 plus 5 is 25. So 100 divided by 25 is 4. 8 times 4 is 32. And this would all work out. Okay. You could have even done guess and check. I suspect you wouldn't get a lot of marks if you just sort of guessed, well, could R be 1? Could R be 2? Could R be 3? First of all, you don't want to guess and check because there is not a lot of math involved, and so you will not get a lot of marks. The marking schemes for these are very much of the form, did they do this, then did they do this, then did they do this. If they make it all the way through, give them 3 marks. If they get halfway through, give them 2 marks. If they wrote down this number or this number, give them, 1 mark, that sort of a thing. That's the way the marking schemes go. And guess and check, there's nothing for us to mark. Second reason you wouldn't want to guess and check this is because you don't have any idea. Maybe 20 students need to join, and you don't want to guess and check, well, could R be 1? Could R be 2? Could R be 3? Could R be 4? Because 20 is kind of a long way away from there. Okay? But that does it for question number 1 on our 2009 Galois. Up next will be question number 2. I will see you for that video next time.